Good morning, everyone. A few minutes late, but we are back. It is Friday, April 3rd, Good Friday. Only have a half day of work today, which is extremely nice. It's looking like it might not be too bad outside up here in the Northeast. We've got a little bit of cloud cover, but nothing that we can't handle. I'm excited for this weekend. I'm going home this weekend. It is Easter weekend for all of those who celebrate. It's really a really nice time, a nice part of the year. We have an absolutely packed show today. We have World Cup qualification and some crazy qualifiers at that. FA Cup quarterfinals preview, transfer and managerial news, and to finish it all off, we have ATP WTA Tour action. Some clay season tournaments are back, and we're going to finish it off with a set of hypotheticals. Now, if you're excited for this one, definitely let me know what you think in the chat. And let's not waste any time today. Let's just hop right into it. Now, we had World Cup qualifiers this week, and these were all the final spots that would be taken up for the World Cup upcoming this summer here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Now, these qualifiers were absolutely nuts. These countries are playing with their heart on their sleeve. Some of them are trying to make their first World Cup in decades. And it's beautiful to see the emotion of the fans at these home stadiums when a goal goes into the back of the net, because it means so much to them. It's different. It's hard to explain to people that don't understand football, because it's religion over there. In a sense, these people live and die with their teams. It makes their week. They spend all their hard-earned cash. They save it up just to go on the weekends to escape life for a bit and just watch the beautiful game. It's really quite amazing. And the first match was a complete embodiment of all of this. We had Bosnia play Italy in Bosnia, a small pitch, very local, and it was just crammed in with Bosnian fans, and this game was a thriller. Moise Kean started the scoring for Italy in the 15th minute, and Italy actually looked primed to hold this one out because, well, they didn't need to score another goal. They obviously could have, but that was until Bastoni decided to chop down Memic, who was through on net, and gives himself an obvious red card. Now, in situations like that, it's tough, because do you take a red card knowing it's going to come out? I mean, he made that challenge knowing he was going to get a red card. He was the last man, clean through. Memic was clean through on net. There was absolutely no chance. It's also a little bit of trust lacking of him, because you have Donnarumma behind you, and what's the point of getting the red card there? It was just silly from Bastoni. Italy go down to 10 men, and it was downhill from there. What's up, Schultes? Welcome into the chat. Hope you're having a great Friday. Hope you're having a great Good Friday. And yeah, we're just going through some of the World Cup finals as we speak. World Cup qualifier finals, I should say. But back to Bosnia. Tabakovic gets Bosnia back into the tie in the 79th minute, leaving it pretty late for the Bosnians. But that stadium absolutely erupted once that ball hit the back of the net. It was a beautiful thing to see. Bosnia back in it, sends this thing to extra time. And in extra time, both teams had their share of chances. Italy, actually, in my opinion, had the better of the chances. They had multiple counterattacks where Bosnia was just kind of left for dead, and they couldn't do anything about it. They weren't able to make anything of it. Ultimately, it goes to penalties, and it's Italy who suffer. You would back to Italy on pens after Euro 2021 when they won it against England. Donnarumma's so good at saving penalties, but this time their players just shot down their leg, and ultimately it's Bosnia who wins this match 4-1 on pens and are heading to the World Cup. I mean, it was really embarrassing stuff from Italy. One, to be in the World Cup qualifiers, but then to not even qualify for the World Cup. I saw a nice little tweet the other day that Italy are the first team to ever announce a World Cup kit, and they're not even going to wear it. So good stuff for them. I forget if it was Nike or Adidas, but they're gonna have to walk that one back, as Italy are not going to be going to the World Cup. So there's no point in getting that jersey out there. The next match we had was Czechia, the Czech Republic, versus Denmark. And again, this one was 2-2 and went to pens. Czechia started the scoring, though, firing themselves into the lead in the 3rd minute via Sok. Denmark were actually unable to break through, and it looked like it wasn't going to go their way until the 72nd minute when Anderson gets his head on it and finds the back of the net to get this tie back on level pegging. We then head to extra time, and it's Czechia who score first again in the 100th minute via Krejcik, or Krejci. Denmark level it once again, giving themselves hope in the 111th minute via the Bodo Glimt man himself, Kasper Vorts-Hall. Bodo Glimt seemed to be producing some incredible talent. I'm telling you, these guys are going to be picked off from that team just like the 2019 Ajax team was. I think this summer we are going to see some lesser clubs in bigger leagues signing these players. Like, I could 100% see the likes of a Leeds or a Sunderland maybe giving some of these Bodo Glimt players a go, because why not? They look absolutely fantastic in the Norwegian League. They look incredible on the biggest stage under the bright lights of the Champions League. Some of these guys are ready for that next step. Now, once this game did head to penalties, Denmark just completely folded. They folded in half. They're the first team to fold as quickly as they did. Rasmus Højlund thumps one off the bar for the first penalty. And when you're a goalkeeper and you see that happen, you just kind of feel defeated. You feel like you have been left for dead by your team. All you ask of your attackers or anyone that's taking a penalty is just put the damn ball on target. Force the goalkeeper to make a save. Because if you're not hitting the target, you can't possibly score. At least if you hit the target, maybe the goalkeeper, if he goes the right way, fumbles it into the back of the net. You know, anything can happen. But missing the target altogether is just embarrassing. Dreyer's attempt was saved, and Jensen also proceeds to blast it over the bar. And it's Czechia who ultimately take this tie 3-1 on pens and are heading to the World Cup. Denmark going to be a big miss in this year's World Cup. Hold on. Next, we have Kosovo versus Turkey. And let me first start off by saying this is the type of passion that football has that other sports don't have, okay? We have Kosovo, who were hosting Turkey. Their population of the city, I forget their capital city where they were playing. Let me take a quick look at this. I don't know it off the top of my head. Pristina? Is that where they played? They might have been playing in Pristina. I feel like that just sounds right. But they found out where the Turkish national team was staying. And the night before the game, they were launching fireworks at the Turkish team's hotel at 3, 4 in the morning to keep them up to make sure that they didn't get any sleep and they would be tired for the next day. It just means more in football. It just means more to the fans. And it's beautiful to see. It really is. Now, unfortunately for Kosovo, the match didn't go their way. It's Turkey who takes this one 1-0. The only goal in this one coming from Kerem Aktürkoğlu. That's these names are tough. When we get to the international stage, the names just get tough. It's tough. That's all I can say. It's tough. Now, Turkey win this one, and I'm not gonna lie, they have some real young, exciting talents on this team, and I think that they could do something in the World Cup. You obviously have your veterans like Hakan Çalhanoğlu, but then you have these young guys like Yildiz and Güler who are starting to be the next generation of this Turkish national team, and they're both such young, bright stars with the world at their feet playing for Juventus and Real Madrid. I mean, Yildiz's name literally means star. So I think Turkey's in good hands. I think that it is going to be an exciting World Cup for them, and I back them to get a few wins in this one. You know, why not? They are a tough team to play. They're well drilled, and yeah, I think Turkey are going to have a decent run at it in this year's World Cup. The final European qualifier we had was Sweden versus Poland. Sweden takes this one 3-2, and it's the man from Newcastle who gets Sweden going in the 20th minute. Anthony Alanga has been in some pretty outstanding form as of late. I mean, he scored 2 goals at the Camp Nou in a knockout stage, and now he's putting his national team in the league in a World Cup qualifier final. But this lead didn't last too long as Zalewski scores in the 33rd minute. But it's Sweden again who fire right back just 11 minutes later before the end of the half in the 44th minute via Lagerbjälk. These names, man. These fucking names are just incredible. It's so hard. Next, we had Poland score to start off the second half in the 55th minute. His name is Swiderski. Swiderski, which I don't know why, but for some reason reminds me of the jewelry company, Swarovski. There's literally no affiliation. It also kind of reminds me of Kung Fu Panda, Skadoosh. But yeah, no, Swiderski gets Poland back on level terms in this one. This game looked so destined for extra time, especially with what we were seeing in the other matches. Denmark and Czechia going to extra time. Italy, Bosnia going to extra time. This game looked destined for extra time until the main man for Arsenal striker Victor Gyökeres scores in the 88th minute and sends the Swedes into an absolute frenzy. He's running around the stadium. The stadium camera is reverberating as it was just so loud in that it was just incredible. International football is truly a joy to watch. Just stunning stuff. Now, other qualifiers around the world. We had the Democratic Republic of Congo facing off against Jamaica. And you know, some of the players on these two teams might surprise you. There's been some nationality changes in recent years. Some players that you might have not realized were on some of these teams. For example, if we look at the Democratic Republic of Congo's lineup, they've got Joan Visa, they've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and they've got my main man, a player that I share so much love for, and I felt like a proud Manchester United fan watching, or I guess looking back at this game. Axel Tuanzebe, the Manchester United Academy product, scores in the 100th minute, extra time, to send Congo to the World Cup. The scenes for the Democratic Republic of Congo, it's absolutely beautiful. This is their first World Cup since 1974. That World Cup was in West Germany. Germany wasn't even a single nation the last time Congo played in a World Cup. That is just so crazy to think about and conceptualize. So happy for them. Shout out to everyone from the Democratic Republic of Congo. You deserve it. The final World Cup qualifier final we had was Iraq versus Bolivia. Now, this match ended 2-1 in favor of Iraq, and it's Al Hamadi who scores in the 10th minute. But Panigua levels it for the Bolivians in the 38th minute, and, it could go either way. The Iraqis obviously wanted to go their way. The Bolivians wanted to go their way. But it's Hussein who scores in the 53rd minute, sending Iraq to the World Cup for their first time since 1986. Stunning stuff in these World Cup qualifiers. Absolutely electric. I mean, how can you not love football? Just unreal stuff. Now, transitioning from international football as the international break is ending, finally. Nothing against international football, and those games were absolutely electric. The games before that were also incredible. But there's something about the Premier League and the Premier League teams facing off against each other that just really, really gets me going. It perks my ears up. Gets me excited. Gets me very excited. Now, this weekend, there is no Premier League. That's not back until next weekend, but we do have FA Cup quarterfinals with some big matches. We have Manchester City hosting Liverpool at the Etihad. This one, man, Liverpool will be thinking back to the Champions League, the FA Cup quarterfinals last year, when Manchester United knocked them out. It's the Scousers who have to travel back to Manchester a second year in a row, face off in the quarterfinal, and they're just hoping that this time it goes differently for them. I guess that would have been 2 years ago, not necessarily last year, because that was Klopp's farewell tour. That was when Manchester United spoiled Klopp's farewell tour. Yeah, 2 years ago. Next match, we have Chelsea versus Port Vale. Now, this has to be Chelsea. You love to hear about the teams making a run in the cup, and it's so exciting. Port Vale should be immensely proud of themselves for making it this far. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it has to be Chelsea playing at home, playing at Stamford Bridge. I back them. Liam Rosenior needs to get his side back into winning form, and what a better way to do it than against a Port Vale side who I believe is in League One. Let's see. Yes, they are currently sitting 24th in League One. So this is their season. This game right here is their whole season on the line. I really hope that they can get it done, but it's going to be Chelsea. Like, it is 100% going to be Chelsea who takes this one and finds themselves onto the semifinals. Next, we have Southampton versus Arsenal at St. Mary's Stadium. And playing at St. Mary's Stadium during Holy Week surely means some sort of divine intervention for the Saints. But at the same time, it's Arsenal. And do you really back Arsenal to not win this one. I mean, their defense is so good. They they have to win. Arteta needs a trophy. They lost the Carabao Cup final. They need a domestic trophy. This would be the trophy that Arteta has won before back in 2020. He knows about the magic of the cup, but I do like Arsenal to win this one and, play spoiler away at St. Mary's Stadium. The final quarterfinal will be on Easter Sunday, and it is West Ham versus Leeds at London Stadium. Now, this match could go either way. Both teams are just in horrendous form in the Premier League, to be completely honest with everyone. West Ham are at least home. I hate London Stadium personally. I think that it looks so shrinked. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it is the open space around the field that is it still a track? I know it used to be a track. I don't know if it's still a track, but for some reason that pitch just looks so small and it looks like West Ham are just stuffing you in. And I don't see how Leeds will be able to play against that. Now, West Ham are dog shit. I have to remember that. And Leeds going through via Brendan Aronson would be electric. So for that reason alone, Brendan Aronson, we're going to go with Leeds to advance against the Hammers in the World Cup qualifiers or the FA Cup quarterfinals. Little mix up there, but that's all right. Little tired today. Coffee machine is not working properly in this establishment. We're going to have to get that checked out after this one. Now on to some transfer and managerial news because let me tell you, it's been a doozy over these past few days. International break always leads to some very exciting transfer news for the summer because this is when teams are starting to really ramp up their interests in players. Before all that, though, I must say, Enzo Fernandez and his comments are just completely out of line. The dude is practically saying that he wants to go play for Real Madrid this summer. And because of it, Liam Rosenior has left him out of his squad. All of this news comes in via Fabrizio Romano and Ben Jacobs, by the way, on Twitter. Shout out to them. That's where I get a lot of my transfer news. Not all of it, but definitely a lot of it, as both of them are very well-sourced journalists. But yes, Enzo Fernandez dropped out of the squad for some silly comments that he's making in the media. I mean, someone please get this dude some PR training. It's embarrassing to see this, and it's embarrassing for Chelsea. I mean, to have one of your star players be saying that he's going to be off to Real Madrid. I mean, I guess Ronaldo did it, but Ronaldo did it in a very different way. They were interested in Ronaldo after 2008. And we said, listen, stay for one more year. And he stayed through 2009 and then left. But mid-season, when your team is spiraling, your team needs you. You're supposed to be one of the talisman of this Chelsea team, and you're just dropping hints about wanting to go to Real Madrid. It's embarrassing stuff from him. Bernardo Silva is set to leave Manchester City this summer, and City are obviously looking for his replacement. They are pushing hard for the likes of Elliot Anderson and another big-name midfielder. It's so sad to see a player you're interested in be linked to Man City because at the end of the day, you're screwed. I mean, Manchester City are going to get whoever they want. They're going to pay the fee, and it's tough. It's really tough. Julian Nagelsmann is now the front runner for the Manchester United job. He's said to be keen on managing in the Premier League, something he's always wanted to do. And as a Man United fan, myself personally, I think this would be an absolutely fantastic hire. I think that we need someone who's managed at a big club before, and he's done that at Bayern Munich. He's transformed RB Leipzig into an incredible team and then left for Bayern. Things didn't work out as well at Bayern. I believe he still won a league title there, though, and was sacked, but that's just what Bayern standards are. They expect to win the league. It's what can you do later on in the Champions League. I mean, shit, Pep was sacked from Bayern Munich. I'm not comparing Nagelsmann to Pep, but I'm just saying that Bayern Munich are ruthless when it comes to dealing with managers, and that should be no reason why Manchester United are turned off of a move for Julian Nagelsmann. I think he is an ideal candidate. He actually was probably my second pick out of every manager available, or at least that we could go out and get this summer after Luis Enrique. I preferred Nagelsmann over Tuchel. I preferred Nagelsmann over, what's his name? Oh my gosh. At Brazil right now. This is so bad. This is so embarrassing. Chat. Brazil manager. The only name that's coming to mind right now is Antonio Conte, but that's obviously not him. Oh my goodness, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing stuff right now. Chat, help me out. Who's the manager of Brazil right now? He's legendary. Real Madrid manager twice actually. Won Champions League both times he was there. Having an absolute brain fart right now. Carlo Ancelotti. Nice, Drew. Fantastic stuff. Anyway, I preferred Nagelsmann over basically everyone else, and it was only Luis Enrique who I preferred over him. So I think Nagelsmann would be a fantastic hire for Manchester United. Now, speaking of Elliot Anderson, he is now Manchester United's top target as they plan this midfield overhaul this summer. You can call him your top target all you want. If he wants to go to Man City, you're screwed. He's going to go to Man City because they're probably going to offer him a starting spot. They can offer him a better, I don't want to say better future because you don't know what's going to happen. Pep might leave, but they can at least say, look at what our track record has been in recent history in terms of winning the Premier League and also winning the Champions League. And that's going to be a tough pill for Manchester United to swallow. We just have to pitch him the project that we are currently working on. Yes, thank you, Schultes, Ancelotti. I don't know how I missed that one. Embarrassing stuff for me. But I digress. It is pivotal that Manchester United go after someone elite, and it has to be either Tonali or Anderson as the marquee signing. If it's Carlos Baleba, I will simply start ripping the hair off my eyebrows and eating it out of pure frustration of this club. Tottenham make a big splash in the market. They are currently spiraling out of control, and they turn to one man, Roberto De Zerbi, to try and save them. They hire him, give him a 5-year contract, massive wages. He's earning $12 million a year, and this is a major risk. Now, if they go down this season, this thing is going to spiral out of control. Players are going to leave, and it could turn into a real dumpster fire. If De Zerbi manages to keep them up, it could save them. It could. I think that De Zerbi was meant to manage for a mid-table club, like Brighton was back in the day. And I think Tottenham right now are a mid-table club. I know they're in the relegation zone, but I think that they deserve a little bit more credit than that. I think the structure is pretty broken, but I think it would be fair to call them a mid-table club. I wouldn't put them in the Big Six anymore. I think that spot has been filled by Aston Villa, if you ask me personally. I mean, you look at the signings that Aston Villa get, you look at Unai Emery, they're going to qualify for the Champions League as of right now. I think this is a massive risk from Tottenham, but listen, if it works, it works. Man, can't stop yawning today. Atrocious podcasting from me. But Tottenham look to get at least some sort of spark out of De Zerbi. It's all in the players now. You have to try to will something out of these players if you're De Zerbi. He's good at working with one young talent. Build from that. Say, look, if we stay up this year, prove to me why you deserve to be at Tottenham Hotspur. Because there's going to be a massive squad change this summer. There just is. Players are going to leave. And they're not going to get that many new, incredible, shining toys, you could say. De Zerbi has to get it right. Tottenham had to get it right. They took a risk. Let's see what happens. All I'm saying is that if I was a Tottenham fan, I would be extremely nervous at the moment, like you have been for the past couple of weeks with relegation looming. But at least you have the coach you want. Maybe not the coach you want. You at least have a coach going forward. And, they should be focused on a project, because even if he goes down, this is going to turn into a minimum 2-year project. Unless he doesn't bring Tottenham right back up, which in that case would just be hilarious to think that Tottenham go down to the Championship and are unable to get back into the Premier League, but I don't see that happening. That's everything I have for soccer or football. Let's shift gears to tennis. And now with tennis, we are finally off of hard courts and we are into the clay swing. Beautiful stuff. I think clay is such a beautiful surface to play on. It provides some incredible shots, incredible rallies. The red clay just looks stunning in these venues on television. But this week, we had loads of 250 events on the ATP Tour. We have the Houston Open, which is currently into the men's quarterfinals. I believe those are on today. We have Lerner Tien versus Roman Andres Borruchaga. We have Ben Shelton taking on Thiago Agustin Tirante. We have Thomas Martin Echevere versus Tommy Paul, and Francis Tiafoe facing off against Alexei Popyrin. Almost a full slate of Americans versus Argentinians, funny enough when you look back at it. But it is Popyrin who defeats that pattern. My prediction for this weekend, personally, is I think Tiafoe gets it done over Popyrin, and I think Echevere takes it over Tommy Paul. I really like Echevere's game this year. He's been in some high leverage moments. Tommy Paul, unfortunately, did choke away that Miami Open semifinal. I think the final is going to be Echevere versus Tien as well. I think Tien is going to defeat Ben Shelton because I don't see how Ben Shelton can really be stopped right now. He's back to playing better tennis after a rough sunshine double from him. I think it's going to be Lerner Tien, though, who picks up his first ATP title on clay. I think that he doesn't love clay. He's said this before. He's talked about it in interviews. The dude doesn't love clay. But I think his game is so clay-coated. I mean, he's all over the court. He is known for his defense as of right now. Yes, he's just 19 years old. His game is going to adapt. It's going to change. But the pillars of how he wants to play tennis will still be there. And those pillars are built for clay courts. I think this is going to be his first title. It would be massive for him to take down the Houston Open. So let's see if he can do that. We head overseas to the Morocco Open. We have Luciano Darderi into the semifinals after a walkover versus Yannick Hanfmann. So he gets the day off. Big for him. We have Corentin Moutet versus Marco Trongoletti. We have Alexander Miller versus Rafael Jodar. And Camilo Ugo Carabelli versus Luca Van Asch. Now, Darderi's already into the semifinals, and he is absolutely nasty on clay. I think whoever he faces between the likes of Moutet or Trongoletti in that semifinal, he is going to handle easily. Again, my favorite fun fact is that I think since the start of 2025, or since the start of 2024 maybe, Luciano Darderi actually has more clay titles than Carlos Alcaraz. Now, obviously Alcaraz isn't playing in the ATP 250s, but it's just a funny stat that I like to think about from time to time. I'm predicting a final between Darderi and Jodar, the young star from Spain who is nasty on clay as well. And I think it's going to be Darderi who takes another clay title. I just think that he is so clay coded. It's his surface. He's not incredible on hard court, definitely not grass. I think he takes this one, adding yet another clay title to his arsenal. Over to the Romanian Open. I don't have my eyes on this one as much, I gotta be honest. Just the player base is not really enticing, we'll say. I mean, the number one overall seed is Gabriel Diallo. That should tell you everything you need to know about this one. But I do like Manarino, and I like Manarino to come out of this one as the last one standing. I think that the Frenchman has an interesting style, and I think it translates to clay pretty well, to be completely honest with everyone. So I like Manarino to come out of Romania with a ATP 250 title. That is everything from the ATP Tour. Let's head over to the WTA Tour now, where there's actually some incredible tennis going on. We are in Charleston for the Charleston Open, and we are into the quarterfinals. Now, mind you, Charleston isn't actually using clay. It's using, I think it's called True Hard. Let me look this up. It's basically a hard true. Mixed up the wording. It's basically the exact same thing as clay. It's just green. I've actually played on True Hard myself down by the beach in the summer, and it feels really, really good to play on. Like, I would imagine that's exactly what clay feels like. I'm pulling up a picture right now just so that everyone can get a better idea of what it actually looks like. Is it going to show up? Don't think it's going to show up. Never mind. We are not going to see it. But anyway, it's basically clay. It looks dark green. For some reason, my OBS won't allow me to pull it up right now. Whatever. Back to Charleston. What really matters. We have the quarterfinals this weekend for the women's side. We have Jess Pegula facing off against Schneider. We have Iva Jovic versus Anna Kalinskaya. This actually should be a very entertaining match. I'm very much looking forward to that one. I believe coverage starts at, I don't know, maybe 1 today. Let's see what time coverage starts. 11. Wow. That's actually extremely early. I didn't think it would start that early. Jess Pegula versus Diana Schneider, the first match, 11 a.m. Definitely going to tune into that one during the workday and see what's going on there. But Iva Jovic versus Anna Kalinskaya should be a great match. The 4 seed versus, I believe, the 8 seed going into this tournament. It is an ATP 500, so more of the bigger names are playing. Really looking forward to that. Then later we have Madison Keys versus Belinda Bencic, the seasoned Swiss female going up against the also impressive Madison Keys from the United States. I think that Madison is going to be primed and ready to start taking some titles down. She's been flirting with the idea for a little bit now. I believe she did win a slam last year. Again, I'm not positive. Yes, yeah, she won the 2025 Australian Open. Look, see, I do know what I'm talking about sometimes when it comes to tennis. Sometimes I don't. You know what? That's all right. That is all right. But it is Madison Keys versus Belinda Bencic. Super excited for that one as well. Some great matches out of the WTA Tour. Then we have McCartney Kessier versus Yulia Starter. Oh man, this is gonna be butchered. We're sorry, Yulia. Starodosteva, the Ukrainian. We'll just go with Yulia for now. But that match, I believe, is the final match of the day at 6 p.m., or that might be at 1:40. I'm not exactly positive. But going forward, I actually love to see a matchup between Jess Pegula and Anna Kalinskaya. I think that Eva Jovic, unfortunately, just kind of chokes in bigger moments. I think it would be a tournament like this where if she finally gets over the hump, I don't see it happening. I think Kalinskaya will have her number. I'm excited for that possible semifinal. And then on the other side, we'll have probably Madison Keys taking down Belinda Bencic, facing off against. This one was a toss up. I don't know either of their games, McCartney and Yulia, but we're going to go with McCartney. You know why? Because she's an American and she's playing on American soil, and you would expect her to elevate her game just that little bit more. Now, I think this has Madison Keys versus Jess Pegula written all over it for the final. And that actually would be a stunning final. Both are Grand Slam winners. Madison Keys obviously winning last year. I forget the last slam that Jess Pegula won. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. Jess Pegula has not won a Grand Slam. What a mistake from myself. She has won many Masters 1000, actually, but she just has not yet won a Grand Slam, which is shocking considering she is in the world top 5 at the moment. But I digress. I do expect Jess Pegula to take this one home. She is playing some wonderful tennis this season. She unfortunately just is unable to break through against Arina Sabalenka and Elena Rybakina in these major tournaments, but neither of them are in this one, and I love her to get it done in Charleston. And that wraps up everything we have tennis related. Let's get into some hypotheticals now. And I want people to get active in the chat and the comments with these two, because I'm curious to hear your opinions on this one. First one, would you rather see your country win the World Cup, or your club team win the treble? This one's tough. This one's tough because obviously I want Manchester United to win the treble. You know, like that would be so exciting. We'd finally be back. We won the treble in 99, but to come back and win it again would just be so special. But you cannot convince me that seeing the United States win the World Cup would not be the most exciting thing to happen to this country in a very long time. That takes precedent over us winning the World Baseball Classic. That takes precedent over us beating Canada in hockey. The United States winning the World Cup would be the single most impressive achievement probably in American sports history. I think it would be more impressive than the 1980 miracle match versus Russia, just because of the caliber of talent of these national teams worldwide. It would be on par with that miracle. I think it would personally surpass it. I mean, you're playing the likes of Spain, Portugal, France, England, Germany, all powerhouses, not to mention the South American powerhouses, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia has a pretty decent team. It would be mind-boggling. I can't even think of it because of the state of US soccer at the moment. But to see them hoist that golden World Cup trophy, oh my goodness, it is a dream to behold. I don't think it'll happen in my lifetime. It might never happen, but who knows? Anything can happen. Uruguay have 4 World Cup wins. Now, I think 2 of those were in the 1930s. They actually beat the United States in, I think, the semifinals, maybe, to go to one of those World Cup finals. The United States has actually finished third in the World Cup. I'm not sure how many people know that fact. I believe it was like the 1934 World Cup or the 1930 World Cup. But yeah, United States actually did finish third at one point. I want to see which one it was. Yeah, Uruguay won the 1930 World Cup. Or sorry, they hosted it. I believe they won it as well. Yes, they did win it. They won it on their home turf, which had to be incredible. And they took down Argentina. Wow. Okay. I believe the United States finished third, or that might have been the 1934 World Cup. At the World Cup. Let's see. That was 1930. Okay, it was 1930. So obviously, it's been so. The game has changed. But the point is, the U.S. men's national team winning the World Cup would be life altering. Just got done picture day for carpenter school like I'm in 4th grade. Hell yeah, Swift. Welcome into the chat. I love it. I got to see that picture. Yo, when you get that picture, send it to me. Need to see that. Carpenter school, that's pretty awesome. I'm intrigued to hear more about that as well. What's up, Molly? Welcome to the chat. How are we doing? Everyone, just in time for these hypotheticals. Molly, you're going to love this next one. The next hypothetical. If you could spend a day with anyone on either the WTA or the ATP tour right now, who would you pick and why? Which male or female tennis player would you choose to spend a day with? Now, I personally find this question quite intriguing because obviously I am a Yannick Sinner fan. What's up, Megan? Obviously, I'm a Yannick Sinner fan, so I feel like I would have to say Yannick Sinner. But at the end of the day, it's got to be Djokovic. It literally has to be the best tennis player of all time, Novak Djokovic. Sabalenka, yeah, 100%. Molly knew that was coming from you. I think that on the WTA side, if I had to pick one, Sabalenka's up there. Sabalenka is up there. Pegula is also up there. One, just because, her parents went to Penn State. They own the Bills. She's an incredible tennis player. I'd love to just meet her and learn more about that. But, oh man, on the WTA side, it's tough. Let me think about that one a little bit more, and then I'll give my answer. But yeah, wow, that's a great shout, Swift. Tearing up the slopes with Sinner would be so much fun. I mean, it's crazy to think that he could have become a potential Olympic athlete in downhill skiing. I mean, I believe he was in the Olympic camp when he was younger. And the dude just decided, nah, I'm going to go play tennis. But he could be a multi-sport pro in tennis and downhill skiing, which would be unbelievable if he was able to accomplish that. Alcaraz, yeah, that's a great shout as well. I think Alcaraz would just be so fun to be around for the day. I mean, the dude loves house music. He's posted from house concerts before, so I feel like that would be awesome. Go sit behind the DJ booth with Alcaraz, mix it up a little bit. That would be incredible. But no, I'd have to pick Novak Djokovic just because he's the GOAT. You gotta hang out with the GOAT. Mansour Barami. Oh, yes. Great shout, Schultes. This dude is a freaking legend. He honestly is the trick shot GOAT. Like anytime they did like before a tournament doubles when they bring some legends out, this dude is hitting the craziest shots ever. His natural skill in tennis is out of this world. If you've never heard of Mansau Barami, I couldn't think of who he was at the moment. Great shout, Schultes. But if you haven't seen clips of him, go watch him. The dude is a wizard with a racket in his hand. Great shout, great shout. Posting up with the GOAT, Pete Sampras. Pete Sampras is a decent shout as well. Now, if we're bringing some older people into it as well, I think that would make my WTA pick a bit easier because I think I would have to go with Maria Sharapova. It's got to be. Legend of the game. She was a former women's tennis player. She was ranked the world number 1 for 21 weeks. Let's see, she's won 36 tour level events, including 5 major titles. Maria Sharapova, when she was at the top of her game, was absolutely incredible. But yeah, it's got to be Djokovic for me. Fun little hypothetical session to open or to end the show, I should say. And this is the end of the show. We've got some very fun tennis upcoming this weekend with the Houston Open and the Charleston final. Really looking forward to both those. Please leave a like and subscribe if you are new. Also, leave a comment down below of what you think of Tottenham hiring Roberto De Zerbi. Kind of an interesting move from them. Will it work out? Will they stay up? Will they go down? So many questions to be answered in the remainder of this season. Now, because we are back on clay, that means Monday, I will be previewing the Monte Carlo Masters 1000, arguably the most beautiful tennis tournament on the schedule. The background of Monaco is just absolutely stunning. Happy Easter to all of those who will be celebrating this weekend, this Easter Sunday. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys.